Don't call me the one true king, because that refers to a show that I don't know nothing about. Unless you're talking about Arthur, in which case, bow down, fuckers. So, yeah, I was pooping. Honesty from your one true king. Also, let me grab something real quick. You don't see what I'm doing. If you could see what I was doing, you'd be like, what the fuck is he doing? And then I'd have to answer you with like words and stuff. So, whatever you think I'm doing, I'm not doing it. Not at all. Hey, Rocky, watch out. Nothing. Nothing. Ugh. Did not just clear a firearm. Not at all. You see everything? You know what I see? I see your head on my wall, buddy. Your head, my wall, full of tomato paper. I don't know what tomato paper is, but how are you doing today? I didn't misplace my left elbow, so YouTube, you're not hearing what you think you're hearing. Also, not doing anything. Just getting ready to show everybody the wall. In no way am I doing anything that could be construed as dangerous or against TOS. You fucking losers. Not you guys. YouTube. Yeah. Got into it with them last night after the live stream because when I went to appeal the video they removed, if you look at the address header for the appeal, which I can't access anymore, but I have it recorded, it literally goes ID, video name, reject, and appeal, ID, video number, reject, start. So literally they have it set up so when you click the appeal button, it will automatically start the reject process. So yeah, good job. Fucking YouTube's getting so lazy, they're not even trying to hide their elements. But yeah, so anyway, I didn't just do anything with that Black Ops. Nope, it's been there the whole time. Nothing with ammo. Nope, nothing. Rocky's sitting over there like, why the hell do you always talk to yourself every goddamn night? How you doing, buddy? I did a good trade today. A Mosin Nagant paratrooper model without a bolt for the Glock 19 Gen 5. My buddy got in a raffle. Brand new Glock, and Glock gets no money from me. Oh, you got a Glock? Nice. Hold on a second. I gotta boot up Windows and shit. Keep looking at my dog, motherfuckers. Keep looking at my dog. Why is my dog looking nervous that you guys are watching him? What the fuck? I have like 31 instances of fucking Chromium open for some reason. Who the fuck uses Chromium? Buckshot, what's up? Hi, Rocky. How you doing tonight? You want to tell the audience how you kicked my ass when we were fighting, huh? Dude, I got all kinds of scratches all over me tonight. What up, folks? Early today, you're still dealing with the white YouTube crap. Saw the short yesterday of the typical shenanigans. No, it was beyond the typical shenanigans. Like I said, the frickin' header, the address bar, literally, when you click on it, will take you to the appeal process, which is automatically set to reject your appeal. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. PSA has a Burst Fast Fire C for $89.99. That's a hell of a price, man. I'd say get it if you're interested in getting it. I've got the Fast Fire C right there. It's been on my Match X since I got it. Good dot, like it. Shake Awake works well. Not Shake Awake, excuse me. Thinking of the Holosun. But yeah, no, I got the Fast Fire C and I got the Fast Fire E. Both of those are on sale. Hey, Rocky, you want a treat? Is that why you're looking at me? Yeah? Yeah, Rocky. Look at this boy. Do you think my boy's happy? Do you think my boy likes dealing with me? He tends to close his mouth when he's being filmed. Hey, Rocky, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You a good boy? You are. Yes, you are. Here you go. Hell of a milk bone, boy. Good boy. He's like a crab. You ever feed stuff to a crab, they just grab it and move into their hole? I shall now give the dog a second treat. I shall now give the dog a second treat. I shall now confuse the dog by giving him a third one. Who's that good boy? I'm really getting sick of this platform, so damn scummy these days. It's not that they're scummy. No, and I don't want to call all the platforms scummy. I'm just calling their appeal process scummy because of what I found. When I can literally show them that they were trying to screw with me. My favorite optics light combo is the Mepro light with the TLR 7X or whatever. I have never tried the Mepro light. I want to try the Mepro light. How's it going? Pretty good, Brooke. As you can see, Rocky's enjoying a couple of little treats. It was 24 degrees this morning, got up to 26 before we went to the park, and then decided to stay cold the rest of the day. So, you know, life. I have no idea if we're facing the right way. You might be looking at my porn collection. Who knows? Although, technically, that is my porn collection. Let me turn one of these LEDs so it's not shining directly at shit. There we go. How's that look? Does that look good for the wall tonight? Yeah, you know what? That's got everything in frame, including my tilted ass chair. You guys want to donate and help me get a chair? I'll take your money. Such a good boy. Yeah, Rocky's all right. Except for when he does a fake pee in the morning. Good boy. I'll never get the camera turned in time. But, dude, he just gave me, like, the Mr. Spock side-eye. You're still at work? Well, I'm sure you'll get done soon. I had a live-free armory amp with the Mepro Light SAS, and I got to say it, on Glock Clone or 365 is a good choice. Okay. So I still got to do videos on these fucking things, including this one, which I need to get charged. I don't know why. The light turns on, but it won't charge. Also, I got to rip this thing off because I'm using the wrong fucking charger for it. I'm using my computer to charge it, which might be the problem. There you go. It says red, but then it turns blue. Does blue mean it's charging? Brandon! That comes in with a $10 donation. Everybody get Jimmini a new chair. Look, guys, it was kind of a joke, but Brandon, I appreciate it. I actually just want to get a standard office chair for in here. The gaming chair is fine. I got it cheap on Amazon. HK P2000 is very good. The Glock is no good. Correct. Although the HK is very expensive for what it is. That's a 9. Oh, that belongs in this one. Are we packing mags a little bit? A little bit. Dude, you turn it. Ah! So Rocky bit me like a week ago, and where he bit me scabbed over, but the scab won't heal. It means you got tummy cancer. Why do I have extra rounds? Why is one a ball nose? Hey. Mr. Joshua, what's going on, sir? Yeah, that mag is full too. Oh, that's right. We +1 it here on the Jimmini Show. Free Glocks are good Glocks. Lol. By free, I mean legal trade or acquired. You know, your neighbor's truck unlocked is a free Glock. The HK P2000s are cheap now because they are discontinued. They're relatively cheap. I mean, when you look at what the gun is versus their price, they're not that cheap. But they are cheaper than they ever were. But that only goes for a little while, because after a gun gets discontinued for a while, it becomes more valuable. My cleaning kunai. Wah, 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 wah. Not a single Makarov on that wall, sad. Because I am not a period piece guy. I am an aesthetically driven guy. And the PPK and the Makarov are cool. But they're not my style. Caltech 556 bullpup. Depends on which bullpup you're talking about. If you're talking about the RFBs, the front ejecting, no. The RDBs, the downward ejecting, yeah. Fair enough. When I first got my dog, he was on a plane 3,009 miles from Cali to New England, and then I went to grab him to get over a snowbank, and he bit me. He hasn't since, but he's a Scotty. Aloha, brother, from Hawaii. Oh, how's the islands over there? Kind of Jamaican, I'm sorry. What's up, buddy? You need some more petting? Dude, my boy, what, you want to smell that? It's just a brush. It's not your brush, but we can try it. Hold on, hold still. No? Okay, you don't like that brush. He has a brush he likes. Daniel Defense uses Diamondback lowers. Yes, it's a very commonly known thing. In the United States, all the manufacturers, all lowers are made by 4 manufacturers. It was Diamondback, Arrow, Anderson, and it was one other. I can't remember the other. I'd hate to clear a forward ejecting gun. Yeah. What you sipping over there, man? Just a sugar-free 10-calorie drink for Waters. You okay, buddy? Just relax, buddy. You got the whole apartment. You want to go lay down in the bed? Go lay down in the bed. You want to go lay down on the couch? Go lay down on the couch. If you want to go sleep in the bathroom like you do, go sleep in the bathroom. I don't actually talk like that to him. I speak to him like he's just a buddy. He's a good boy. My cats love when I clean my guns because my oil smells like pine trees and they go insane. What? It's beautiful. 85, warm and toasty. A little bit too warm. Arex is underrated. It is. You in the market for an alpha? Yes, Paul Z, they are real. I had a little white dog, and when he passed, my woman visited from and came back with him. Was nice. He's little, but been a good buddy. Well, you know, when he gets near end of life, I'm going to have him pick out his successor. I've been using CLP. Is there anything better that works well for extreme cold weather? Cops, I've never had issues with, honestly, though. If it works, man. Who cares? I use Wilson Combat Extreme Lube and Extreme Oils and gun grease, but that's just personal preference. Bro is compensating. You betcha, dude. I have a very large penis, so I got a lot of guns, so people think I have a small penis, and then it averages out to a normal penis. Even in the PC, yes. Toyota good, Chevy no good. Have you seen the recent Toyotas? They all fucking go boom. So no, they not good. Old Toyota good, not new Toyota. The twin turbo 6s they put in the Tundras are trash tier. And that's funny coming from a company that created the 2JZ. Now, if Toyota brought back the original style 2JZ and put it in a Tacoma TRD, I would buy one in a second. Lucas Oil Gun Love is my firm for the Iowa Winners hit. It's almost the same formula as the car stuff, but like slightly different. I don't know the science, but it's solid. Yeah. What's the coldest temperatures you run your firearms in? I've gone shooting in 0-degree weather just because I live in an area that sometimes get cold snaps. So you need to be able to run your firearms. Unless there's... You all right, buddy? Dude, you're fine. Hold on. There you go. There you go. His tail hit the fan. Come here. You're good, buddy. You're good. But, yeah, unless you have some kind of moisture buildup inside the firearm, 0 or even below freezing should work. Do I have a truck gun? No. My truck gun is whatever gun I happen to have in the vehicle with me at the time. Will you ever not wear a hat on stream? Just wondering. I have done streams without the hat, but no. I am balding, and I like my hats. Also, lights hurt my eyes, so hats help mitigate the amount of light that gets to my eyes. Dave says, 1,000 horsepower Tacoma 2JZ. Absolutely, dude. If I had the kind of money that real YouTubers had, I would go buy a 2025, like, Toyota Tacoma or a Toyota Highlander, 4Runner, whatever, the rear-wheel drive one, the 4Runner, and I would literally build a big 2JZ to put in it in a brand new fucking truck. Same. Thanks for being honest. It is what it is, man. Also, you know how you guys know who Roy Orbison was? He wrote Pretty Woman. Pretty woman walking down the street, pretty woman. That guy, he wore glasses even though he didn't need to wear the glasses, and he wore the glasses for so long he eventually couldn't see without the glasses. So I have worn a hat since I was a teenager. Even when I was in high school, I got permission to wear hats in high school because LEDs, fluorescent, incandescent light, doesn't matter. I have photophobia in my right eye, which also causes it to be lazy because that eye tires out really fast. So I've been wearing a hat since I was about 14 years old. Pretty much all the time. I wear the hat even when I'm not on stream. You can ask the dog. I just turn it around when I'm playing VR. So yeah, I wear a hat pretty much 90% of the day. And that's not the reason I'm going bald. I'm going bald because my mom was fucking bald. I want to take an RX-7 rotary engine, put it in the Honda Civic because I'm a dirty rat. So here's my take on that, Brandon. I will not personally, I will not take another manufacturer's engine and put it into another car. And the reason I say that is because I used to watch Barrett Jackson all the time, right? And these $150,000, $200,000 Ford, like 32 coupes, right? Massive amounts of money put into them. And then they go with the Chevy 350 because the distributor's on the back. And a Chevy 350 makes a lot more power for a lot less money than a Ford 302. So these cheap-ass motherfuckers are spending six figures to rebuild a 32 Ford Coupe or a 32 Ford Roadster, and they cheap out on the engine because they go with the Chevy because it's cheaper, it's easier to make power, they look better. Instead of taking that extra 3% and fucking doing it right. That's the difference between a Riddler car or Riddler trophy car and just a SEMA car. Permission to wear hats. Yes, so I'm very old, my friend. I am 46 years old. If you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you weren't allowed to wear your jacket during class. You weren't allowed to have a cell phone in class. You weren't allowed to wear sunglasses. You weren't allowed to wear a hat. So they were part of the dress code of the school. So I had to get permission to do all that shit back in the 90s. You fucking millennials and kids growing up nowadays that have a cell phone and take your mommy has to get a hold of you. That wasn't my lifetime, man. If I didn't have a mortgage, I would buy 2 guns every month. Okay. Dang, I wouldn't even notice you had a lazy eye until you said something, but now I definitely see it. That's why a lot of times I do it, the live stream this way where I turn it, and then if I focus the fucking eye, I can get it to stay open. Well, what's my thoughts on the Daria DY9? I like it. So that is a Daria DY9 right there. I bought it because it was a variant. It was a special variant. It was lightning cut, has a gold nitrided barrel in it. And then Daria saw my video on it, corrected a couple of mistakes I made. And then they sent me the island ported top, the island slide. And I've been running it like that ever since. And I really like it. It's direct cut. You can see how low the optic is sitting on it. Yeah, it's a good gun. I like it. And I think this guy keeps all his high points on display in his living room. Bro, high point right there. Man, I love the Daria DY9. Jimmini's the reason I got the DY9. It's amazing. You predate the internet. Technically, anybody before 1999 technically predates the internet, but there has been intercommunications through networks since the 70s, so I'm going to guess that you're very old, sir. Nice collection. What Canics you got? Right now, the only Canic I have is the TTI Combat. And the only reason I have that is because I traded a gun for it because I will never give Terran Tactical a fucking penny of my money. What's your best pistol? My STI Grandmaster. My second best pistol is probably my Dan Wesson DWX. If you're talking about my best shooting pistol, it's probably that Gerson Match X that I built. That Influencer X is pretty solid. If you're talking about almost stock out of the box, it would be my Para Ordnance Black Ops. That's my daily carry. That's what I was carrying today. But my best striker fire gun, believe it or not, my best striker fire gun is actually my 320 with the adjustable trigger. My best, let's see, my best full-size gun would be that one. My best compact gun is probably the Chris Sphinx or the XP. That would be a good choice. I still have to put the Jimmini trigger in the RXM. Once I do that, we'll fuck with that one. What fucking light is on that one? Huh. I'm 30. I remember pre-dial-up, low-speed Ethernet, high-speed, etc. Yeah, so I had full... No, Captain Zom. There's a difference between online playing of a game that has servers based from the creator of the game versus the internet. The internet is different from online play. It's just so ubiquitous now with Steam and all that shit that people think the internet and private servers are the same thing. They're not. Why won't you give Kanik money? I like Kanik. You got to go back and listen to what I said. I said I won't give Taryn Tactical any of my money. Taryn Butler will never get a fucking penny of my money. What OLED do you recommend for my DY9 or Glock 19? Can only really afford up to 150. The Balder, that's what's on there. That's got the Balder S with the light laser combo right now. And it's the same length as the Daria DY9, so that will fit pretty much flush with your barrel. That's one I would go with. Otherwise, the Valkyrie Mini 2 is like $80. You own any cars? No, unless you buy a metal frame car, you're getting full plastic lower, plastic guide rails and everything. Fuck that. Nope. What mags do you carry with the Para Ordnance? Wilson Combats. Wilson Combats help eliminate a lot of the problem with magazine seating, because if you see, it's holding the round at the right angle. If you have, let me see if I have one. I think I put the basic mag in that gun. Okay, so here is the original Para Ordnance mag, actually. Right? Yeah, that's what the original mag out of the Para Ordnance. So that one actually does it too. So I'm actually impressed. So yeah, they both hold it at the right angle. But a lot of the stamped steel followers on the base mags, like the cheap mags, KCI, etc. Mechgars are good, but KCI and ACT mags, they use the old school style stamped steel followers, and they don't hold the round at the right angle. And when you're trying to run, what did I do with that other one? Where'd you put it, fucker? I have a lot of shit on my desk. I apologize. A lot of mags, a lot of ammo, a lot of other stuff. Hold on, where did it go? God damn it. Where the fuck did that come from? Anyways, if you try to run ball nose and hollow point in the same gun, you may find more often than not a hollow point can stop in a 45, because they have a feed ramp, but it's so truncated and short, it's not really a feed ramp. It's just kind of an area where the bullet can bounce. So unless the bullet is held at a high enough angle, it can jam into the back of the chamber and cause issues. My God, you have an arsenal. Yeah! I wish I had that collection. Holy shot. What was your first firearm? My first firearm was a double stack 1911 from Rock Island. Basically, that gun without the full-length dust cover was my first 1911. It was a double stack 9 with the 22 TCM barrel conversion. I know Taryn isn't a great guy, but I never knew why. Also said Balder S, right? My YouTube glitch out. Yeah, the Balder S or the Valkyrie 2 Mini, both of those are under $100 and they're pretty solid. So I'm not throwing shade. I don't know the man personally. I just don't get a good vibe from him. And just like other people don't get a good vibe from other people, something about him is just off. And I sold car. I was a piece of shit. I sold cars for 20 years. I can read people really well, and there's something wrong with him. Why are you not taking care of that sweet collection? Looks like a slob's nest. You really need to put some pride into it. If you're talking about my desk, I don't give a fuck about my desk. And quite frankly, neither should you. The guns are all oiled, cleaned, and ready to go, so the guns are fine. If I don't feel like cleaning my fucking desk, that's my fucking problem. Cool guns and all, but you got a high point. Yes, right fucking there. Fucking look at the screen before you type, guys. It literally fucking says Yeet Cannon on it. What would it sound like if that room was on fire? Probably like... Probably about like that. I have a fire alarm somewhere. Oh, fuck, I don't have one in this room. I have one in all the rooms that could catch on fire. Don't you have any high points? Bite me, FV. What's up, FV? How you doing? FV Ordnance is in the room. Make sure you guys go over and check out his channel. He does a lot more practical shooting than I do because either he lives somewhere that's better for shooting or he's not a pussy like me. I don't like to go out in the cold. You have any 1911s? Lol, just messing with you. Ha, 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 ha. What is your favorite Mad Max movie? Honestly, I don't understand the entire premise of it. I understand it's a post-apocalyptic world where water is worth its price in gold and gasoline is hard to come by and all that shit. But it's kind of fucky. How you been doing, FV? Dang, this guy's kind of an ass. I'm kind of an ass to people that are kind of fucking stupid. If you live your life swamped in stupid and you drag that stupid out of your swamp and bring it up with everybody else, you kind of fucking deserve what you get when I smack you down. Your tyrannical government's worth a nightmare with all those guns. I mean, I would use my words first. What's your favorite gun in your collection? It's kind of hard to say. I don't like to pick. No staccato, whack. Staccato can suck my nuts. I have STIs. Staccatos suck. And if you think Staccato is a quality brand, they make a good gun. They don't make a $4,000 gun. They make a maximum $2,000 gun that they sell for $4,000 because you drank the fucking Kool-Aid, just like all you Glock lovers. Have I seen Road Warrior? Which one was the one with Tom Hardy? That was the last one I saw. You have any 357 SIG? Yes, I have a Glock 32 custom. I like the first Mad Max the best. Fury Road was okay and Thunderdome really sucked. How it should be. Never go full tard. Jesus, I fucking love my guns. Nice. Oh, what's the gun you hate the most in your current collection? The gun I hate the most in my collection, honestly, because it makes me a fucking hypocrite, is the TTI Combat. That guy is selling his Staccato. So, if you go back on my channel, you'll see I bought a Staccato C2. I bought it used. It was a 2024 gun. I paid $1,500 for it with the Delta Point Pro. I felt it was overpriced. So I sold it for $3,000. I took the optic off, sold the Delta Point Pro for $400 to one of my buddies, and then I traded the gun for $2,600 in other guns. So that's the only way that I will compliment Staccato. If you can get one for like $1,500, you can double your fucking money. But no, that gun did nothing that my guns wouldn't do. I will put my custom Match X up against any fucking Staccato XC on the market. I guarantee you it will hang with it, and it probably has a better trigger. What do you recommend for an aftermarket trigger for the 365? I really don't mess with them that much, to be honest with you. No, you can't touch guns on live streams. Brandon, anyways, got to head out. Just wanted to hang out a bit. Hope you have a good night. You too, dude. And Michael, what is going on? You bought 2 SIGs today. What'd you buy? Well, like 5, but who's counting? Glock's also got 5 Berettas. Okay, that's cool. Alien, your thoughts, man? That thing gets hot when you shoot it. It shoots really flat. It does what it says on the box. What they also need to be on the box is caution hot. If you've ever mag dumped one, like 2 mags in onto a mag dump, the trigger gets really hot because the barrel is basically touching the trigger. Is that a Mac 9 DS behind you? No, that is the TSOS BR9 Duty double stack bull barrel. So it's basically a DS, but just the TSOS name on it. That is a TSOS Night Stalker double stack. That is the Gerson Match X double stack. All these you made, or no, not all of them. I've rebuilt several of the guns, modified them to my taste. That has a custom trigger in it. That's got a full rebuild and custom coating. That's got a full rebuild and custom coating. That's also got custom stippling. That's got a custom finish on it. That's got custom internal work. That one's got internal work. That's got new frames and internal work. That's got framework, internal work, full rebuild. But the rest of them are just basically stock. You just bought the 9 doubles comp. I'm working with Jared over at SDS. He actually returned an email that I sent to him because I thought I did something wrong. I thought I said something wrong about the company or something, but turns out they're just really busy. Where's the Glocks, man? I haven't bought any Glocks this year that I kept, so they don't go on the wall. These are all 2024, 2025 acquisitions. I've got 7 customs. I've done videos on all of them. If you just go through my channel, maybe I'll have to break them out again. I gotta follow you, man. Where you've been all my YouTube life? I've been doing this since 2017, so I've been hiding. Authorized personnel, thank you. Do you have any experience in Turkish Benelli? No, I have a real Benelli. I'm just fucking with you though. I have messed with like the Black Aces Tactical. That is a Turkish kind of Turknelli. They run all right. They're not as good. They're definitely not as good. But the Orthos Raider, PewView loves that gun. I have not messed with the S4 myself, though. Thoughts on Dan Wesson 1911s? Dan Wesson 1911s are 100% worth their $1,500 to $1,800 price tag because they just feel solid. Their triggers are nice. The grips feel like the grip safety feels really solid. You can tell when there's a lot of play. Some guns, when the safety's on or when the slide isn't racked, so the hammer is down, you can still move the safety. You shouldn't be able to do that on a good 1911. Airmax, what's up? Opinions on the FN Reflex or just stick with Glock? I never recommend anybody stick with Glock ever. And the fact that California banned them should be further proof that Glock is fucking stupid. Any 44 Magnums? No, sold my last one to a buddy of mine. You're sending it to DSC Gunworks after a break-in for a full build. Dude, that's going to be an amazing gun, dude. Wow, that's all the plastic guns. What? Where are the ARs? Up there. I don't do a lot with long guns. I have a few, but I don't put them up because they take up a fuck ton of room. I could literally put another 12 handguns up there, but I have 3 guns up there. Real Benelli, love it. Turk guns, not sure yet about the shotguns. They're cheap in price. You're going to get what you pay for. So the Orthos Raiders are like, what are they, like $900? That has a chance of being okay. But like a Benelli M2, that's a Benelli M2 semi-auto shotgun, Gen 1. They sold originally for about 15. That one still sells for about 12. It's worth every bit of the money. Now, I'm getting rid of it because that is a Gen 1 M2. It doesn't have the provision for an optic, and it's got the ribbed barrel, so I'd have to buy another barrel if I want to cut it down. So I told my buddy who was, I was like, dude, do you still got that extra 930 of yours? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I'll trade you my Benelli M2 for your 930. The 320 with 4 mags, Holosun, and red dot Streamlight I bought brand new. Oh, nice. What's a gun you would love to have? I want the SIG 226 X5 Reserve. What's your opinion about CZ? In general, I really like CZ. CZ makes very good, high-quality hammer-fired and striker-fired guns. Their P10 lineup is probably better than any of the Glocks that are out there. Better ergos, you get them for a cheaper price. Their optics cut, etc. The 75s, holy shit, I don't know what's going on with them, why they raised their price. Because I sold my buddy that SPO1 when it was in my store for like $500, and now they are $720 cost. They retail for almost $900. It's freaking ridiculous. Those are what you bought. Gotcha. I will say in my state, Colorado is good, hey, and limits my magazine capacity. I'll acquire something correct. What you do is you get an AR-15 and you take your mag and you write 458 SOCOM on it. Because 458 SOCOM, you can only get 10 rounds into a standard STANAG mag, but it will also hold 5.56. So if you put 458 SOCOM on it, you can get away with it because a 458 SOCOM mag is 10 rounds. What are you doing with the 930? I've got another one that I use for home defense. I'm going to turn this one into like a fast shotgun. If anybody sees Daria Arms, I want to talk to him. I got a new shotgun and 357. Sweet, dude. What shotgun did you get? You like the Canics? Canics are fine. Canics are good, but the problem with Canics is it's kind of the same problem I have with some companies. There's too fucking many of them, and they're too easy to get. Is the slide lock back on one of the handguns under the shotgun? Kind of hard to tell on the mobile. Yeah, I locked that one on back on yesterday's live stream because somebody asked me. That gun has a square barrel on it. Do you think a 50-inch OLED LG or 75-inch LED Sony same price? I kind of like LG better than Sony in general. Sony, the only product Sony ever made that I liked was the PlayStation, but I do respect some of their expensive shit. Is that a 22 long rifle up top? That one with the silver on it is a Ruger 1022 with a Sharps Brothers heat seeker chassis. I was going to go to the range today, but it was 24 degrees and my left nut froze. Wait, 2011 mag? What about one? I've got one right here. Somewhere. There you go. I don't shoot 350 Legend, and don't type in all caps, sir. I will definitely get to you. That PC going hard. It's trying. What do you think about the Winchester Ranger 12 gauge? Never really messed with it. I don't know much about it. I don't do a lot of long gun shooting. You recently got an Ithaca Model 37 for $100 and instantly slam fired it. Yeah, I had a Stevens 520 with a cut down barrel. We love slam firing that. Looking into the FN Reflex XL, what do you think about that? I take a little bit of umbrage with FN's current direction with their guns. They are sticking to a pure profit model. They stopped really caring about the operator, and the FNX, FNS, FNP lines were great. The whole 5 Series line and the Reflex is technically part of that lineup is not as good as it could be, yet they still raised the price. They went staccato. They lowered the quality, raised the price. Desert Armory, what's up, dude? Can China deliver the goods? As long as they pay the tariffs. Any HK G36? No, I wish I could, though, man. The G36 is a badass gun. Colt Python 2-inch and a Browning Auto 5. Jesus. The Python's going to be a fun shooter. Browning Auto 5, I've shot a couple of times. I like that. Thoughts on the Ruger RXM? It's right here. I like their RXM. I see no Kimber 2K11. You're not a man of class. No, I'm a man of no money. I wanted 2K11. I reached out to Kimber. They told me I'm in line to get one for a review. So I'm not going to spend my money while I'm waiting. Loud Squad, stop typing in all caps, bud. What are the smallest and biggest one you have? So I've got a Colt Junior 25 ACP would probably be my smallest gun, and my biggest gun is probably my STI Grandmaster. It's got a 6 1/4-inch barrel on it. Anything good in the collection like Wilson Combat X9 or Nighthawks? I don't know why you would say that that's the level that you consider just good. Those are exceptional firearms, but I've got the Dan Wesson DWX. I've got the Para Ordnance guns. I've got a Chris Sphinx. I've got a lot of good guns up there, and I also do have my STI Grandmaster as soon as my buddy gives it the fucking thing back. No, Egg, I just went over not too long ago. If you go back about 10 minutes, I do a nice 4-minute tirade on why Staccato is a piece of shit. The company. Springfield DS Prodigy thoughts. It's a perfectly serviceable 2011 style gun. Now, the fact that they went with Duramag for their mags is kind of funny. They will run Checkmate mags, but it's still kind of funny that they decided to go with Duramag. It kind of proves a problem that they have. Do you have an M&P? No. It's another one of those easily replaceable guns. I keep going through it. That's a lie. I have a Gen 145 sitting in a safe. What do you think about the switch people are putting on guns? They're illegal and nobody's putting them on guns. Illegal people are doing illegal things with them. The Dan Wesson is legit. It took forever to come out. It took forever to come out and hurt themselves by doing so. The Dan Wesson DWX, when it first was introduced to the market at a $2,000 price range, was one of the only 1911, 2011 style guns that was actually going to be reasonable. But since then, TSOS, Fusion Firearms, fucking Bursa, SIG, all these companies came out with like $1,000, $1,500, $1,600 2011, They're all just as solid in my opinion. And in fact, the reason why I battle wore that finish is because the finish from Dan Wesson is so shitty right now that it came off with a piece of 800 grit. Do you have a Daranger? No. How do you like the 365 Legion? I don't have a 365 Legion. That's a fuse. I think you need more guns, or are you a commie? Go back on my channel, bud. Look at all my videos, and you'll see which ones are actually mine. Damn, the arsenal's fire. Thank you. Any ideas for a concealed carry? Yes, hide it. What I would tell you is the same thing I tell everybody, brother. Go to a gun store, pick up a bunch of different guns. English is not my first language. I'm actually from a planet near your anus. It's kind of your taint is the name of it. It's kind of a bad name. But go to a gun store and try out a bunch of different guns. See what fits your hand well and that you can grip good. And then rent the guns. Find a place that will let you rent those same firearms. See which ones you like shooting. It will cost you less in the long run to go to a range and rent the firearm and make sure you like it than it will to be listening to people who tell you, oh, you need a $600 Glock. You hate it. You go to sell it and you get $300 for it. You know what I mean? Sorry, buddy. What would you recommend for my first gun? Same thing I just went over with the whole other guy. I have a Glock 43X and absolutely love it. Cool. Love your sloths, bro. Thank you, sir. XDS 45. It's a serviceable gun. It's small. It's kind of like that Firestar, the stainless gun, second from the bottom there. Very similar. What's up, Mouse? I need more guns. Thank you, Novice. What do you think of the Canic Rival? I like the Rival. I wound up going... So here's the deal. I had a Live Free Armory Apollo 11 there, 2011. It was the compact 4.25-inch gun, so it ran fine. It had a really shitty grip. In fact, Drunk Mouse 3D printed me a couple of grips that I was going to put on it. And then I realized I didn't like the trigger. I didn't like the beaver tail. I was going to have to change all of that. And I'm like, fuck it. I went to my buddy's store. He had the TTI Combat Smoke and the Rival S. I'm like, give me one of them. Whichever one you want to give me, I'll take. And they wound up giving me the TTI Combat for it. How about the FN57 as an all-around carry? Just be careful because 5.7 has a very strong chance of over-penetrating a target. So in a self-defense shooting, if you over-penetrate and you hit an innocent bystander, you're responsible for that action. Do you think I should get a gun? Should I go laser turret for home defense? Laser turrets are a little bit harder to defend in court because that is a system that is requiring a lot of forethought. A gun is defense, a laser turret is offense, so keep that in mind. How many guns exactly do you have, bro, and all of them real? I have some airsoft and BB replica guns. I don't know the exact number of guns I have. There's like 35 on the wall right now. Do I like guns? Nope. Do you think it's advisable to use anthrax for duck hunting? I think you can answer that question yourself, buddy. I love Canics. They're fine. What do you get paid from YouTube if you don't mind? I see your plaque. YouTube does not pay shit to two-way guys. We make about a third of what a makeup tutorial channel with the same number of subscribers has. I've got 187,000 subscribers. I get 1 million plus views ish a month, including the shorts, across all my channels, and I make about $700. You have dark matter in real life. Dark matter exists in real life. They're just trying to find a way to demonstrate it. How do you feel about the Dickinson armed semi-auto shotgun? Never messed with them, man. Somebody asked me that a couple of weeks ago. Never shot it. How hard is it to shoot 9mm? It's all dependent on you, the person, the gun, and the type of ammo you're shooting. It can be a very pleasant thing or it could suck. I just found your page. Thank you, Jay Boone. What's your opinion on the PSA dagger? It's fine. PSA still has a quality control problem where sometimes the guns aren't quite right. So you got to kind of finish them off. But as long as you can do a little bit of work, you can wind up with a pretty good gun. 700 if that's it. I can't even afford ammo for 700 a month. You're not wrong. This is not a living for me. It looks like a pee bottle. Everybody says that, but it's actually sugar-free drinks. Just happens to look like pee. Oh, by the way, though, if your pee looks like that, you're fucking diabetic. Go see a fucking doctor. Can you not go to a different platform like Twitch? I know they pay well. They only pay well once you're fully established. Somebody like me trying to jump over to Twitch with no audience over there, I wouldn't make shit for weeks or months. And I plan on doing it. I just need you guys to commit to coming with me. Looking at an MC9, have you tried one? Yes, one of my good friends has a couple of the LSs. I shot them. I like them. What is your KD? I have a 97% survival rate in Ghost of Tabor. My longest kill streak for Phoenix is 3,000. They'll pay you chump change to inform and defend the 2A. We'll pay a streamer not doing shit 6 figures. Pretty much, man. Best way to carry a pistol while driving, and which one, at least with 15 rounds? Personal choice, you're going to find the gun you like best. I carry a 1911. It doesn't need to have 15 rounds because I got 2 mags, so that's 17 rounds when you count 8 plus 1. Fuck it. I'm in. Let's go get paid, dude. Lol. I thought the Hellcat was nice, a little jumpy, fun though, feels good in the hand. Yep. Ruger Security 9 versus the FN Reflex. 2 totally different guns. The FN Reflex is their compact, the Security 9 is their mid-size, full-size gun. One of my PSA's daggers is a binary fire because I bought the slide and frame separately. There's an issue with the spacing between the pin and the cruciform. That just sounds like a happy little accident, as our friend Bob Ross, the armorer, used to say. No, I've never had to shoot anybody, Animator. Damn, fair play. Zombie attack. What's your double tap pattern and why? No double tap, shotgun. You should check out multi-stream. So I'm thinking about dual streaming Twitch and YouTube. The difference here is YouTube does not allow me to touch and demonstrate a firearm on a live stream. Twitch, I can. Twitch will allow you to even go to a shooting range as long as it's under controlled circumstances. You're not being aggressive, pointing at the camera and shit like that. So I could literally disassemble firearms and show them to you on Twitch if I want. It's your birthday. Happy fucking birthday. Somebody breaks in. Which one you grabbing? The shotgun that's loaded in my room. Best duty combat ready 1911 brand Nighthawk. Do you think people that own FRTs are stupid? Nope. They're just expressing their right to waste money. Up here in Kenyatta, we got fucked. We can't buy more handguns, and I only got 43. Well, it sounds like you got a few. Look into Kick, too. The problem with Kick is they have so much bad stigmata around them as it is. I don't know if I want to be associated with Kick. Should I take my weapon to an armor for inspection after so many rounds fired? If you're not comfortable examining it yourself, you should, but you'll be able to detect, especially if you put enough rounds into it to wear a part out, you'll be able to detect things like slide sticking, recoil being slower, ejection patterns being different. If you're only going to take it after you shot like 100, 200 rounds, that's a waste of money. So what I offer through my company is I offer an annual inspection for guns. So I have customers that will bring me their guns every year, and I'll take them down all the way. I'll do a complete disassembly, check all the springs and shit like that, clean it, rebuild it, oil it, grease it, all that stuff for them. Yeah, it is tripping, brother. Do me a favor, don't type in all caps, though. You're so jealous. It's all right, man. Do you hunt? Nope. No, you can't, High Street. You haven't been able to since 2019. Kid killed himself on a live stream with a shotgun. Since then, you can't do it. Bodyguard 2.0 opinion. I've held it. It's comically small. I've never been a fan of small 380s, but everybody that's done a shooting range video with it has said it shoots really well, so I need to buy another one. I'm thinking I'm going to buy the 2.0 comp and take that to the range and shoot it. I think you believe that zombies are coming one day like Last of Us. Fuck no, dude. If zombies ever really happen, like if the news happened and said the world is being overrun by zombies during a pandemic, number one, I'm joining the zombies. I will literally dome myself. Well, I won't dome myself, but I will take myself out and become a zombie. Those guys don't care, dude. You ever see it? They're getting mowed down by miniguns and shit, and they just keep going. That's the kind of fucking can-do attitude this country was built on. And as Zombie Trump says, whoa. You like an FN? Older ones. Wow, I didn't know why. That's crazy. Yep. My friend bought the 2.0 comp. I bought the regular 2.0. So PewView shot it and says there's a noticeable recoil difference, but it's not a lot. Oh, fuck yeah, live stream. What kind of world have we gotten ourselves into? Yeah, well, that was in 2019. He did it because a girl broke up with him. Thankfully, his backdrop fell down over his body because it took like 40 minutes before the cops got there, and that was before AI algorithms could pull it. Like, I've had my live stream ended because I brushed the front trunnion of an AK-47. Also, I'm just throwing this out there. This is fucking Tuesday. It is a holiday, but it's fucking Tuesday, right? And we have more viewers now than we've had in a long time because I got done yesterday ripping fucking YouTube a new one about their fucking practice over pulling my videos. So I think they took me off the shadow ban list. Everyone pay your taxes, hit the like button, double tap your phone. Yeah, Militant, what's up, dude? Walking zombies, no problem. Running zombies, I'm living in a hole. You don't have to worry about that with me, Stromboni. Double amputee, I'm a stumbling zombie. They constantly moan though. How stupid is that? Huh? Are you military? Nope. Can you show the Desert Eagle? Don't have one anymore. Have I ever gotten shot? Not with a firearm. What do you think about an AR-15 pistol? I've had them. They're fine. I've got a 300 blackout, so. 11th of November. Okay. Well, my birthday's in 2 days. None of y'all are giving me birthday wishes. Come on. If you had the choice, electromagnetic gun versus the minimum in Predator, which one would you take for home defense and why? That's a weird question I don't want to answer. If you keep asking if I got shot, Leo, you're going to know what it's like to get banned. What's up, Dr. Mankind? What got you into guns? My buddy was opening a gun store. They had told me about it in 2016, 2017. I killed myself, and at the end of the year, I got into guns. Any finished firearms? Yeah, all of them are finished. I have, no, actually, my Mo's in Naganta Tula. Happy birthday. I genuinely did not know that. I've only been saying it every day for a week, Sam. You don't listen to me anymore. The love is gone. I'm going to go and eat my feelings. What's your favorite gun? 1911s. Why is the veterans allowed 1 day of celebration? Because they're too busy being Americans. Bro, why do you have all those guns weak? You only use one of them at a time. Ha ha! That's what you think. I can pull the trigger with my penis. I'm American, dude. I've been shot a couple of times with firearms. It's about as fun as you'd imagine. No thanks. I've been hit by a car. I've committed suicide, and I've been shot with an arrow. None of those were fun. I've also stabbed myself multiple times. Opinion on CZP-10C. It's a good gun. Great alternative to Glock. You have an AK-47. Yep, 3. Don't get mad at me, but a 110-year-old design can't compete with modern pistols. The 1911 is overrated. I tell you what, brother. I will take my Match X up against any gun that you care to name right now, and the 1911 will keep up. The 1911 has the purest trigger in a semi-automatic firearm, period. Has 3 moving fucking parts. No gun on the planet has a more pure trigger than a 1911. Just because it's a 110-year-old design doesn't mean it's not right. Why do you think the toothbrush is still a stick with fucking bristles on it? Why do you think the tire is still a fucking round thingy? Man, come on. You have a 22. There's a couple of them up there. Do you know how much all of them gun cost on the wall off the top of your head? We did the math one live stream. My Staccato's not up there right now, so the resale value on the guns on the wall is about $45,000. I heard the new 6-hour GTO is nothing more than a rebadged 320 with upgrades. No, it's completely different. It's not a 320, dude. Completely different gun. Number 1, it's hammer fired. Number 2, it's a 2011 with the SIG magwell. Have I ever been in a war? Do you do war training? No, I am too old to get drafted, too disabled to join the military. The only training I do is self-defense and personal protection. Are there any better mags to fit the Glock 19 Gen 5 that is better than the factory one? Unfortunately, no. One of the best things Glock has ever done for the industry is that mag. That mag design they have is probably one of the best. However, because it's a polymer-coated piece of steel, if this was polymer-coated, it'd be even thicker, and that's the problem Glocks have. That's why they have capacity issues. 1911 chicken is simple, wall and trigger break, nothing better than that. Pretty much, man. And again, I respect everybody's opinion, but you can be wrong. You can have an opinion and still be wrong, but I'll respect your opinion. Why do you have so many guns? Because I'm a gun tuber, sir. I need to have them for work. Do you use the guns? Yes, there's 3 guns on that wall that haven't been shot, and that's just because I got a dog and haven't had time to go to the range or the desire. Let's say I know someone who knows someone who robbed someone who had a plasma gun. Would you recommend it for home defense if I put it on defrost only? No, dude. If you're defending your home, but you can set a thing to a lower setting that won't kill somebody, that means that that you could have left the home. You weren't in an emergent situation. So no, if you have a Q45 modulator with a 40-watt plasma range, fucking set it to its highest setting, gooify the motherfucker, and take your chances in court. Never set it on stun. How do you feel about PDWs and PCCs? I prefer PDWs over PCCs. I've had plenty of CMMGs and shit. PCCs only make sense if you're trying to retain mag compatibility. You can't have so many guns in California. There are ways you can. Do you have a favorite gun tuber? Nope. So many guns, but no Glock. I've got 7 Glocks. They're just not worthy of the wall. Just got a Sharpsburg brain for my Echelon. Happy to test it. Hyped to test it out. You'll like it, dude. I love mine. It's the only reason I still have the Echelon. Bro, you don't even have enough hands for all those guns. What the heck? Dude, having that many guns means I don't have to reload shit. Drop, pick up. End of story. Seeing a micro motherboard in a huge case hurts my soul. That is not a micro motherboard. That motherboard is designed to fit in that case. That is a full ATX motherboard. That happens to be the Enthuse 719 Pro case. The reason it looks like it doesn't fit in there is because that case is capable of running dual systems. If I wanted to, I could put a mini ITX on the bottom. It's not the wrong size for the case. Do I have a Mauser? Nope. AR-15 or AK-47? Both. What's the best gun in your opinion? 1911s. Yes, real guns. Bro got his shit on lock. Pretty much. 1911s are so sleek and sexy and timeless in my opinion. And dude, modernized 1911s are the fucking shit. Here, let's do a gun wall tour, okay? I will tell you every gun that's currently on display behind there, all right? And there's some guns that aren't even here. So the not a piss bottle, because if your piss is pink, go to the doctor. But that is a Dan Wesson DWX. Has a linear 2011 trigger, but a CZ design frame. Really nice gun. The finish looks like shit because Dan Wesson doesn't know how to do guns anymore. The DWX's finish was so shit that that's actually flaws in the metal. That's not from sanding it. T-Sauce Night Stalker 2011. Thanks for answering. No problem, dude. I'm from UK. I had a 1911 and nickel was worth a lot. Yeah, I bet. That's a like I said, T-Sauce Night Stalker 2011. It's got a Fusion Firearms trigger, custom internal work, and stippling by my buddy Greg. But yeah, I mean, look at this pair of ordnance, man. That is a modern 1911. That is a very modern, standard single stack 1911. It's got a magwell. It's got VZ G10 grips. It's got nice grip screws. It's got nice extended controls, front and rear slide serrations, a fucking rail, and good sights. It's not optics cut, but it doesn't have to be. But if you need optics cut, look at the Gerson. That's a custom Influencer X that I built. It's got extended mag release, G10 grips, nice controls, lightning cuts. That is a 2011 Match X. That one is a is camping pretending to be homeless. Yes. But anyways, that's another one that's got full custom internals. The only thing stock in there is the trigger, but I've actually bent the bow on that to make it lighter. It's got a 1.9 pound trigger in that motherfucker. If you had to choose 15 or 47, what? Oh, between AR-15 and AK, I've made that choice, AR-15. Too many options. Standard 1911 worked in by a gunsmith is a treasure. Yep. How much for the first one? The Dan Wesson DWX retails for about $2,200 when you can find them. But then you got to spend $100 for the fucking optics plate just to run an optic on it. Which one do I prefer? That one, 1911s. You say Glock are not worth to be on the wall, but it looks like you have a high point on the wall besides that great collection. It's because it's the fucking yeet cannon, bro. It wouldn't be up there if it wasn't the yeet cannon. I'm not going over full prices on all the guns, my friend. Sorry. That would take forever. Hold on a second. I had to tighten my belt. So I recently bought a 1911 for Rock Island. Had the top plate already cut in for a red dot. I was able to put a sweet RMSR green dot from Hawk. It's absolutely epic. So that's basically this gun right here. Rock Island double stack 1911. It's based on the para ordnance frame. Has a optics cut from the factory. CZ SP01. High point, don't pretend to be perfection. Yep. Thoughts on 10 millimeter? Like them. Don't laugh at me, but what's a good intro 1911? Rock Island, dude. Rock Island, Gerson, and T-Sauce all make very good sub $600 1911s that are worth checking out. That one was on sale for $540. Tanfolio Witness 9mm. It's basically a CZ75 clone. Should I get an FN57 or a Glock? FN, where can I see all the guns and prices to purchase from you? No, guns that are available for sale, you'd have to reach out to me on wincityarmory@gmail.com. And I only have 11 guns in my store right now that I'm actually selling because I sold too many of my other guns. Canik, TTI Combat Smoke. When I do eventually sell that, my buddy wants it, so he's going to get that when I tire of it. T-Sauce PX9 Duty Comp. So that's the one that's got the compensator built into it. Really solid gun. Let's put some light on these things. Yeah, so we don't need a lot of light. So Ruger RXM with a threaded barrel upgrade and the Sharps Brothers aluminum frame. Very nice. And it's running just a cheap light just for something to put on there. Thoughts on Smith & Wesson MP9 metal? Pretty good. That is the Arex Alpha. It's kind of like a 226 homage gun. It's built in Slovenia. Arex makes massive, cool guns. Fusion Firearms XP Pro 2011 that takes Glock mags. Do I have any 40 caliber rifles? Nope. Springfield Loaded Stainless Target. That is a stupidly expensive gun that isn't worth the money. So it's not worth $1,500. Never buy one of those. The Springfield Loaded Operator, that one is worth the $1,200 asking price. Beautiful gun, rail gun, front and rear slide serrations, very nice gun. Springfield Echelon in a Sharps Brothers frame. Smith & Wesson Bodyguard SIG, hold on. Can tourists visiting U.S. buy guns, and if so, how many if their pinky swear to carry a bald eagle on their shoulder at all times? If you are here on a visa or temporary green card or whatever you guys want to, whatever, if you're here legally and you're going to be here and you have a semi-permanent residence, then yes, you can buy guns. I don't know what the limit is for you guys. But I used to sell a lot of guns to a Chinese resident who was here on a green card, so, or non-resident visa or some shit, and he used to buy guns. So that is my custom AR-15. It runs a unique AR upper. It has a Butler adjustable bolt and a 750 adjustable gas block. It's running a Burris optic, and it's being teabagged by Shiloh, although Shiloh has a taint, so I guess that works out. Let's see. Way to get out there and train, brother. Glock 40, 9mm, 45 caliber. Which one is better? Glock is Glock, and they all got fucking banned, so Glock sucks. That is the Chris Finks Alpha. So it's the SDP Compact Alpha. It's the aluminum-bodied, aluminum frame, steel slide. That is a SIG 320 M17. It's a true M17. It was a military-issued M17 that I rebuilt. Turned it into kind of like an X-Full RXP clone with a Harrington Arms comp and a customized slide. No SFX steel frame. Also, the only steel frame Canik is the Rival S. It is not an SFX. Do you have a Makarov? Nope. So that is the SIG 365 Fuse. It's basically a macro frame with a 3.7-inch barrel. Very nice feeling handgun. I have not shot it yet. Dan Wesson DWX, did you have a rust problem with the coating? No, I had a finish fucking came off of it problem. You see the vertical scratch right here on the front? I'm not even close, YouTube. You can see it's paralleled. But that scratch in the front happened from setting the gun down next to another gun, and it slid. That is not rust on the gun. That is fake rust. We did a battle wear pattern to it. But you see all those striations in the metal? That is the imperfections in the metal from being made. Yes. I thought it was an SFX platform. I guess I'm wrong. No, it's a Meta platform. SFX is the race gun variant of the Meta, of the Canic line, basically. SIG 320 with an Armory Craft dual adjustable trigger set to its lowest possible poundage. Fusion Firearms XF Pro, based on the Ermox. Yes, Rock Island does make a paratrooper style. I love my SIG 365. I have the AXG Legion at a 320 AXG Pro that I love. Nice. You think the Ultra Carry 2 is worth the price? No. Best pistol to buy for 400 or under, a CZP 10. I don't have a laser pointer. I'm using the flashlight just to put extra light on it. You should be able to see them just fine, honestly. T-Sauce BR9 Duty Double Stack Gen 2, so it's got the bull barrel. It's basically the DS without the comp. Daria Arms DY9 with the island ported barrel. That gun shoots amazing. I love that gun. The Rock Island 5.0 with the square barrel, which is the reason the slide is back. Yeah, that's a gas-operated square barrel, double stack in a CZ75 style. Best Glock to get. Fuck that shit. Get a CZ. Do I have an Vector SP1? Think is South Africa's sexy pistol. No, I don't. And it's basically a Beretta that was turned into a different gun because they got yelled at for trying to make a direct Beretta clone. Although they had a license from Beretta, but they had to sell it as something different to get it out of the country. Sharps Brothers Heat Seeker chassis for the Ruger 1022. It's the bull barrel getting Milo's taint all over it. Benelli M2 Gen 1. Very nice gun. And yes, it's a real Benelli. People keep thinking it's a fake. It's a real fucking Benelli. Yeet Cannon. The only reason it's up there is because it's a real Yeet Cannon. Para Ordnance CCW LDA. I like that. It's a light double action 1911. Para Ordnance 1345. You can see where the 1911 gets its design from. 1911 double stack. Para Ordnance double stack. They're the same fucking gun basically. Firestar from Star Arms, the M45, 6+1, 45 ACP, ridiculous gun. And the Hammerly 22, all very good guns. All Glocks are banned? Why? You should probably Google it, man. The very short answer is the Glocks can be turned into full autos by just monkeying with the internals with a backplate switch, literally a switch. And yeah. The state of California said, fuck you, you're banned, and Glock panicked and canceled 85% of their lineup. I think the only guns they didn't kill were the Slimlines, because nobody's ever put a switch in one that I can think of. Oh, now I gotta line you back up. God damn it. Let's see. What do you recommend for everyday carry? 9mm. I'm a Glock 19 owner and just changing. I don't know. I want to hear opinions. You got to go to a gun store or a gun range, rent guns, pick up guns, play with guns. You'll figure out what you like. You okay, buddy? I'm sorry. I've shot a 22 1911. It doesn't have any recoil. Pretty much not. I want one of those Rock Islands with the optics cut, but in 45 ACP. Staccato is the best gun out there. I'm going to do you a big favor, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that comment because, yeah, it's the stupidest thing anybody has said so far tonight. So Glocks aren't good guns. Glocks are reliable guns. They're not good guns. They're overpriced. The company is fucking bullshit, and the guns only run because of how terribly they're actually designed. And they're designed terribly on purpose, so it's a good design, but it's a terrible design done well to make the gun reliable. But shouldn't that be all that matters? I guess so, if you don't like guns. Cool, dude. All Glock is Glock, so Glock is Glock, man. If you had to rewrite your national anthem slightly, which gun would you put in the lyrics? So proudly we hailed 1911's for the win. Yeah, I put a 1911. High Street Boy, you have a good one too. Glocks will run, but for $600 I can get a tons better firearm. Pretty much. What's your favorite 12-gauge shotgun? Mossberg 930, 940s. Really good guns. What would you say is the best handgun for self-defense? One you train with. You might be able to outshoot me with a high point if you practice with it more than I practice with my 1911. Wait, you think a Glock looks badass? The Glock is what a 3-year-old child with a fucking crayon would draw if you told him to draw a gun. It's literally a fucking square. Bought a Canic for my new EDC and I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. Absolute banger for the money. Agreed. The V model is exactly the same law. You would have thought they would change it up a bit. All they did was add dumbass notches. Honestly, if the notches were all that was required, fucking good for them. But it also proved that their gun was already overextended on their tolerances, so they could have made the tolerances tighter. I will bet you dollars to dog nuts that there will be jamming issues with the new gun. Because by adding those notches, they're tightening up the tolerances on the slide to frame fitment. And I guarantee you that it's going to cause tolerance issues. Do you sleep with your gun at night? And what's your name? I don't name my guns. I name my cars, and I sleep with my dog. That came out wrong. My dog sleeps in the same bedroom as me. People forget the Gaston Glock wasn't a gun maker before he bought the Glock. He was a polymer guy who decided to make a gun out of it. That's what you say about anybody that does anything, man. Nobody is something until they do it. Lamborghini made tractors. Ithaca shotguns are jammed, but I love the Deer Slayer. Nice. For under 500, I highly recommend the Canic Meta MC9LS. I put over 2,500 rounds through it with the red dot. That thing is on with no hang-ups. I agree. Just make sure you keep it lubed. That's the only thing I always suggest about a smaller gun. You love your Hellcat Pro. I'm sure it's fine. Type 1, what's up, dude? Dan, the wall's looking pretty healthy. Yeah, it's all right, dude. There's actually 11 guns that aren't up there right now. I had too many guns, if that makes sense. I had too many guns on display. That's why there's guns inside the computer right now. And a silencer just sitting on the fucking desk. Yeah, it's about right. Glock is like the Honda Civic. It's reliable, overpriced for what it is. Will run every time. You can depend on it, but they absolutely winning. No races or bits. We need car makers like BMW to make a gun. Why? So it blows itself apart because they forget to put a liner in the fucking chamber? How many M6s do you still see on the road today, the V10s? 2% of the original production number? Because they built an engine with no fucking cylinder sleeves, so they fucking destroy themselves? Fuck that. BMW can stay the fuck out of guns, dude. They built something overly complicated. Companies like BMWs would want to recreate the fucking Luger. I like your view, Walt. Thank you. Do you have the FN7 blue tips? No. Canic TTI is a best value gun without a doubt. It's $1,000 for a $600 gun. How is that the best value? You can buy a Canic SFT Pro with a threaded barrel, put a Harrington Arms comp on it, be in at $645, save $350, and not give Terran Tactical a fucking dime for just telling Canic to put his name on their gun. The fact that you actually took the time to type that out makes me think that you suck Terran Tactical's asshole. And I own the fucking gun. And I would never pay full price for it. I traded a gun I had $500 into even up for it. Which gun, in case it doesn't work, needs some weight? High Point. Battlefield 6 is so full of tryhards. I don't know why I didn't play this game. I don't know. I have an HK VP9. Used to, sold it. Modern high power. Gerson's MCP 35. It's the most accurate recreation of a Belgian high power. The one that you actually want. You have an MP5. No, they're very expensive. V10 Benz is solid. They still have their problems. Mercedes-Benz engines have a lot of problems with their ignition timing. Terran Tactical gives me Epstein vibes. I don't get a good read off the man. Sorry. Should we bring back dueling? If so, should people be limited to a gun choice for fairness and public safety? Yes, you should use the exact same guns that they used back in the day. Black powder, unrifled barrels, so that it's fucking hit and miss. You just got a Hellcat Pro comp and you love it. I heard they're good guns. I'm not going to buy one. You put the Yeet cannon by your bedside. No, I want a gun that I can trust my life to. That's just a fun toy. Is there a tempered glass panel on the PC case? If not, it's bad for airflow. It is not an air-cooled PC, so airflow doesn't fucking matter. It's water-cooled with the radiator with fans at the very front pulling straight through the radiator. It doesn't need airflow. And I can demonstrate after years of running a tech channel that it's actually running cooler with the side panel off than it would with the side panel on. You not like the VP9? No, the one I had was fine. It was just a basic one. B58 is one of the best engines of all time, and it's a BMW. If you're talking about the straight 6, yeah, that was the one engine they did really good. Great, you named one thing BMW did good. Why, and here we go, why, and I'm not a Toyota fan, why is an FJ Cruiser from 2014 retaining 65% of its value when a BMW fucking M6 with the manual and a V10 sells for about $5K when they were 108 when they were new at the max? I sold cars for 20 years. You're not going to win this argument. No, here's where I'm going to change that. Any German car is great until the warranty runs out. That's why they all get turned in on lease. What gun would you say would be equal to like a Honda S2000? A TX22 with an FRT. Small displacement, but it can go really fucking fast. What do I think about the G-Force Blade? I don't. My mom had a BB gun that would not shoot straight. Is there a potential reason why it wouldn't? Yes, BB guns do not have rifled barrels. Pellet guns do. If it's a BB gun, there's no rifling in the barrel. It's fucking good luck, Chuck. What about SSD and RAM? Are they also custom water cooled? No, but do you honestly think that SSD is running hot when it's sitting there? It's in an ambient 24-degree room, dude. You're not going to win this argument. And the RAM is fucking right there. You don't need airflow across RAM unless you're fucking doing massive CAD work or fucking like multiple CPU and system bench loads, dude. Have I ever heard of the 7mm Ultra Mag? It sounds familiar, but I can't say I know much about it. Toyota kicks ass. That's why. Don't tell that to the new ones. Is the TP9 SF Elite a great gun? It's a good gun. I wouldn't say it's great. For the gut in the UK, shotguns are sold over the counter, but can have just 3 rounds, 1 in the chamber, 2 in the mag. Handguns are not allowed. Anonymous police want to keep track. Yeah, I think somebody from the UK once told me that there's only like 6,000 armed police officers in the UK. That's insane, because you guys have, what, like 80 million people now? Or some shit? Or is it like 50 million? I don't remember how many you guys have, but you guys have a lot of fuckers. Wish had gun that could stop Bigfoot or Dogman in the wilderness. Just get a camera. If you get a camera, they run away from you. SATA SSD just ain't going to get hot. Only NVMe's really do, and RAM depends on its own heat sinks. Yep. Also, DDR5 is running at a pretty reasonable voltage. I can see back in the days, DDR3 DDR3, if you wanted to overclock DDR3 to like 2133 or even 2400 megahertz, you'd have to be running it at like 1.5 volts, which would get them really hot. Those run at 1.15 volts. That's not enough voltage to really get it hot, dude. Don't type in all caps, brother. What's a rifle Ash used to slay demons in Army of Darkness? Boomstick style. Love it. 12 gauge shotgun, sawed off. What do you call a great gun? The same thing you call any gun. They don't have ears. They can't hear you. I got friends in Manchester, UK. They are a lost cause. Pretty much. Gerson MCP 35 versus the Inglis P35. Inglis is made by SDS, but they're using Inglis's old tooling, so they're pretty solid. But I have compared the Springfield SA35, the Gerson MCP 35, and the Inglis. I had the color case hardened one. Using my original Belgian high power, I had a 1973 or 74. I sold it to Stonehaven. But I took all the parts out of mine and put them all into the Gerson. They all fit. The slide does not work on the Springfield, so that's not accurate. And the Inglis was about 85 compatibility, but I couldn't get the trigger mechanism to work right. Your favorite car is a Ford Escape. That's not a car, it's a CUV. You have to put the guns in a safe. If somebody breaks in, that person can equip an army. My building is secure, and this is a secured gun room. But yes, if I leave the house for any period of time longer than like 20 minutes, I purposely move them. That's why a lot of times they're in a different position, is because I take them down, put them in a safe, and take them back out. Just get a camera for Bigfoot. That's great. Pretty much. Nobody's ever shot him, but the people that hold up a camera, he's always running away. Do you have any 44 mags? Nope, sold it. Thinking about getting a Ruger RXM. Didn't you test one of these? Yes, right there. It's got the Sharps Brothers chassis on it. Highly recommend you do it, and I highly recommend you do it soon because there's speculation that the government's going after Ruger too. You just ordered your first suppressor. You should have waited, man. If you waited till January, you wouldn't have to pay the $200 tax stamp. Gonna go grub, be back soon. All right. Would you rather have a binary trigger for the AR over in FRT? That AR does have a binary. It has a Franklin Arms binary trigger in it. In fact, if you look closely, it's switched to binary right now. Guile, what's up? Any experience with the Walther P99? I've messed with a few. Basically, all the Canik TP9 line is a P99. It's a licensed Walther P99. Walther sold permission to Canik to copy their design. What about a Radical AR? They're fine. Built in Texas now. They used to be built out of Georgia, but they moved. By the way, I didn't know they had gun-sniffing dogs. Saw on the news a guy with a carry permit got arrested as he picked his kid up from school. Wild. Wait, where was he that his school... Did his school ban firearms? Are firearms banned in schools? I thought concealed carry holders didn't have to follow that. Unless it's posted here in the state of Virginia, we don't have to follow that. No, you still got the free tax stamp from Silencer Shop. Ah, good man. Yeah, honestly, I'm just waiting for the tax stamp to drop, and I don't feel like using Silencer Shop. So, Deltons are cheap, but they seem to run okay, but they're nothing fancy. You like Dan Wesson 1911s? Yes. I need to get a nice lever action. Yes. Have you ever shot anyone? No. The school is a gun-free zone. Had a sign. That's why I'm confused. Seemed crazy. Yeah, but also if it's a concealed carry, a dog alerting to a concealed carry is not enough of a reason for, I mean, unless you consented to the search, just the dog signaling shouldn't be articulable suspicion, is it? I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the fucking rules are for gun-free zones. I do know that if the guy at the Greenview Mall had listened to that, though, that dude that he domed from 40 yards away would have taken out dozens of people before the cops got there. What's your favorite German gun and why? SIG 226. When are they supposedly doing away with the tax stamp? January 1st. No idea how it happened, but Colion Noir breaks it down. Gotcha. Glock can suck everybody's nutsack, dude. Look, SIG has uncommanded discharge. People have been shot with SIGs, yet SIG still hasn't been banned in the state. Yet Glock got banned or threatened with banning in California, and they discontinued 85% of their fucking lineup. They are coward fucking bitches, and I will never get a gun from them. Ever. They will never give me a gun for a review, and I don't give a fuck. Your wifey is a teacher in VA. She loves it. I know Florida, you can't have fire. 226 is just a good gun, man. You can't have firearms on campus, allegedly. You can't even have them in your car, but I don't have to deal with it myself. My daughter's too young for school. So I would probably say, personally, for me, that so Ohio, they have armed teachers. So if I lived someplace where they were infringing on my 2A rights that much, or if I was going someplace that infringed on my 2A rights that much, I just wouldn't go there. Even if it's a school, I would take my kid out of that school and find another school that isn't a bunch of punk-ass bitches. You can have a gun in your car on airport property. You just can't bring it into the fucking airport. So having a concealed carry on you in a school zone, honestly, I want all the good people carrying concealed carry to fucking carry their guns. Check out Silencer Shop, Ock. If they're willing to eat the $200 tax stamp and then do like a retro on the paperwork or something, go for it. They're selling that gun from the Greenland Mall shooting and gun broker for a frick ton of money. I'm surprised they're allowing it to sell there. No gun should be banned. Nope, only stupid people. I have the Ruger 9mm with the suppressor. Nice. This is my 9mm suppressor. Anyone thinks all guns should be banned should just move out of a country where they're legal. There's more countries. Just move to Canada, dude, Madison. If you're living in the United States and you think guns should be banned, it really tells a lot about your education level and your understanding of society and guns in general. No gun has ever killed somebody. Despite what you read, no gun has ever killed somebody. Somebody has always used a gun to kill somebody else. All right, accidental discharge, manufacturing defects aside, anything can kill anybody with an accident. But no gun has thought maliciously to itself, that motherfucker needs to die. Only a person has killed other people. So here's my amendment to your statement. Stupid people should be banned. Can I save money by buying the cheapest match trigger and skipping headspace fit checks? Won't it just feel the same? I do not recommend just buying like a common trigger and just throwing it in a gun without fitting it, man. I can say good luck to you, bro. What's your preferred 9mm for a suppressor host? I don't have a preferred one. I've used the XF Pro. I've used 1911s, 2011s. I've fucking used the Yeet Cannon as a suppressor host. I like them all. Thankful for the Super Typhoon broke before it hit its peak. We were expecting it bad flood due to rains and whatnot. Luckily, it broke on Monday, all sunny yesterday, so thankful. Yeah, no kidding, dude. I'm happy for you, Guile. So ban cards because recently people use card to mow down people. Yep, exactly. Ban beer because beer makes people alcoholics. Seen those prank water guns that shoot backwards? That still requires somebody to pull the trigger, and that is also somebody else giving somebody else that particular item, Luke. And how the fuck are you back in? Didn't we ban you? How much money do you have in your AR build? $0. It's all review sample stuff and stuff that was given to me. If you went to duplicate that rifle, you'd spend about $4,000. You know a lot about guns. Which one should I go for? Monty, if you're looking to get a gun, go to a gun store. Pick up a bunch of different guns. Make sure you go to a gun store that isn't full of assholes who won't let you touch the guns. But go to a gun store, pick up a bunch of guns, see what feels good in your hand. Once you've done that, maybe find a range that rents that gun and try shooting it. You'll save more money by paying to rent. We have a gun hater here. We got a few. Make everyone take an IQ test and ban anyone under 100 from going online might be better. See, that's the problem, though. 100 is the average IQ in the United States. 72 or 74 and below is considered mentally challenged. There are a lot of people that are mentally challenged, Down syndrome, slight mental retardation, that I would trust on the internet a lot more than some of these so-called intelligent people. I've got an IQ of 162. Some days I should not be on the internet. Sashimi overload. Love Japanese food. I don't like sashimi. If you had to carry a heavy gun to not be lifted up by an incoming tornado, what the fuck? A GAU 8 out of an A10. Ban forks. They make people eat. Ban sugar. It makes people diabetics. Ban fucking the Kardashians. They make people horny. Even Caitlyn. It's going to be 9 people online, lol. Yep. Something I've been thinking about in 2 months or so. All right, I'll check it out, dude. I bet the worst vehicle is a Chevrolet Suburban. What? Have you seen a Chevrolet Suburban? Those motherfuckers are ridiculous, man. Pocket carry, I do it all the time with my 1911, dude. Did it at the dog park this morning. How about sushi? I don't like sushi. Probably because the first sushi I ever had was eel. I think they just introduced me with the wrong kind, and it turned me off. Oh, yeah, Caitlyn Jenner, man. She pops a Woody, and it's still awkwardly a boner. What 2011 would a little person carry? I'd probably say like the Brat. It gives you a full-size grip with a shorter frame, or a shorter slide. Shows how well you listen, Jake. My IQ's 162, not 160. Yours is dropping every time you type a letter. What 1911 are you carrying? That one. Para-Ordnance, Black Ops, 1911. 162 is genius level. Are you in Mensa? Yes. What is your favorite grill? George Foreman. I don't grill. How are you pocketing a 1911? I'm 6'4" with a long torso. If you were pulled in by the event horizon of a black hole, you had a zombie in front of you, which gun would you recommend for breaking the speed paradox and why? The problem is nothing can escape a black hole, and I don't think anything during the spaghettification of your body and energy would be able to exceed the speed of the spaghettification. So, I mean, it would have to be something that's light-based. I mean, a ray gun of some sort, but even then, all you're doing is firing it, and it's going to basically, from the perspective of somebody watching from outside the black hole, appear to be completely stopped. The zombie's going to be like that. You're going to be like this forever. Holy shit, Cook Jake. I'm on the spectrum, so I shouldn't be allowed online. Being on the spectrum does not necessarily mean that you're stupid. Have I messed with the Stoger STR9F? Is it any good? I have not. I have had no desire to get one. What's your opinion on turbocharged and naturally aspirated? Everything has its application. Turbo is if you want something that can make power higher boost. So a naturally aspirated engine, its purpose is low down. You like a big Hemi, a fucking 454 big block. Any big V8, they make their power better at lower RPMs. A turbo application like a 2JZ, a RB26D TT, those all make power at higher boost levels and higher RPMs because you need the exhaust gases running through the turbo to spin the impeller to drive the air. It's a parasitic thing. It takes time to spool up. So a turbo is for speed, torque is for launch. They got Chinese Type 54 Tokarev. Do you think that it would be a good buy? If it's a real Chinese one, yes. If it's the Zastava knockoff, no. Imagine if it's just a normal portal and you go into a different universe. With a zombie and a ray gun, I think I would become their ruler. 9mm or 45 caliber, which one is better? That is a very personal choice that you have to decide. I mean, what are you using it for? If you're using it against a person, either one will do the job. If you're using it against a tank, neither will do the job. I'm not a caliber specific guy, usually. I am a gun guy, so if a gun is only available in a certain caliber, that's what I go with. Have you checked out Springfield Prodigy? Yes, I've had a couple of them. They're fine. Mr. Mom, what's up, dude? So pissed the big trucks and SUVs are dropping the V8, man. The end of the world is near. Buy a Durango. They came back for 2026, and Ram brought back the V8. They're going to put a V8 Hellcat back into the Charger. Fucking stick with Chrysler, dude. My fucking Jeep Cherokee's got a Hemi V8 in it. Which P10 do you recommend? I'm a full-size guy, so I would go with the F, but any of them work, dude. They even make the CZ P10 and 45 ACP if you like that. If you had a twin who tried to assassinate you with the 1911, you were quantum entangled with the trigger finger, which outfit would you wear to go down in style? If you're going to go down by being shot with the 1911, it depends on what era the 1911 is made from. I would want to be era specific. So if it's a GI with the flat sights and the little notch in the back, I'd want to go down wearing a World War I 1917 German outfit. If it happens to be like a 70s or 80s race version, like a Colt National Colt Gold Cup match, I'd want like the handlebar mustache and the mutton chops. If it's a more modern one, I'd want to dress as Terran Tactical because fuck him. I know I'm going to get shit. Somebody's going to go into a live one of these days and be like, Jimmini's talking shit about Terran Tactical. And then it's going to come back to me. Do you know how many times I've had people come back into my live and tell me that somebody is saying that I'm talking shit in somebody else's live? I don't care, but it's funny to me. Damn, Jimmy Ware. Thank you. When I saw AMG drop the V8 for a 4 EV motor, I knew we were totally fucked. Well, also, AMG was screwed the minute Mercedes-Benz bought them. You recommend any FNs? Yes, older ones. And the FN-15 rifle. What do you think is the best gun to take fishing? Just because you can put multiple rounds of 45 long Colt, 2 rounds of 410 because I live in Florida. That's a good choice. I don't go fishing, but I would probably take something that's an all-weather style, personally. What is your favorite Glock and why is it the Glock 19? No such thing. Glock is stupid. What's the best gun if you're looking for a quick exit from this business? What? AK-47 with M16, which one was better? They are completely different platforms. It's a personalized choice. An M16 or an M4 or an AR-15, they are able to go out farther distances than an AK-47, but an AK-47 fires a much heavier bullet from a stock one. If you get a 300 blackout AR-15, you equal out the playing field. If you run a 300 blackout AR-15 versus an AK-47, I'm going to take the AR-15 every day, twice on Sunday. If you're talking about a fucking 5.56, then it depends on what you're using it for. Glad you didn't die. Think you'll be needed during the zombie apocalypse. You look like a slow runner. Good to have you around. Oh, no. The problem is, dude, Mark, if we're in a zombie apocalypse and there's people around me, I'm kneecapping every one of those motherfuckers so I can get away. Dude, if all the rules are out, so is humility. Humility. That's a word I just made up. I don't really like budget EDC pistols. I get a lot of shit from people when I make videos about that. I don't believe that you should let your budget determine what your everyday carry is. Granted, if you're on a budget, you're going to have to be selective. Smith & Wesson SD9 V2s, etc., things like that. But I carry very expensive guns. That's I carry the Springfield Operator. That's a $1,200 gun. I carry my custom 1911s. They're anywhere from $1,200 to $1,800. I carry guns that I train with. Granted, if I train the shit out of a G3C or a G3X or something, and I got proficient with that gun, then I'd have no problem carrying it. But it's whatever gun that you practice with. Don't let your budget determine that. It's a one and done. You're saving your fucking life. My Jeep has really good Bridgestone tires on it. Sure, Ling Long tires last 150,000 miles, but they stop like shit in the rain. Why would you put cheap shit? Why would you put your life in the hands of cheap shit? Most cops carry Glocks. Is that true? Yes, but there's a very specific reason for that. Glock sells their guns to law enforcement, military divisions, and other countries at a price that makes them tolerable. If Glock sold the Glock 19 to the public at $339 like they do to Blue Line, that's what they sell for Blue Label, $339, $340, something like that. If Glocks were $300 to $350, I would never fucking complain. But the fact that they jacked the price up $200 more to civilians versus what they sell the law enforcement for, that's fucking bullshit. Thank you so much for answering the question. You're welcome, Jason. Did I actually answer it? Ling Long you love, long time love you though, love. Yeah, I've got Ling Longs on the back of the Ram that I just got rid of. Dude, that thing would spin the tires on fucking dry pavement because the tires were so hard. Sell some stuff and get night vision. Why would I sell some stuff? I'll just reach out to fucking Steiner and get him to send me some. I'm a gun tuber, son. Same for Staccato, 800 more for civilians. Yeah, fuck them. Thank you. You're welcome, dude. Hey! X-Ray, what's up? What's the best diesel? Cummins, 12 valve, not the 24 valve modern shit. 12 valve Cummins. Done. Don't fucking argue with me. 7.3 Power Stroke. Fuck you. 12 valve Cummins. If you were to remake Pulp Fiction, which gun would you give both John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson if they can't be 1911 but still should fit the black suits and considering the applications? I thought they carried high powers. Do you have a girl? Is she as smart as you? How do you find compatible girls with high IQs with your interest? I don't look for people of similar mental capacities as me. If you limit yourself to somebody that's exactly the same as you, you're going to be dating your hand for a long time. I am what's known in the industry as a man slut. I don't want a long-term relationship. I've tried them. They usually end because I say something stupid or offensive or I question somebody. So I prefer to have a one-night stand or pay hookers. You should buy some guns. I'm right on it, Ryan. We need more compact 2011s under 3K. Yes, agreed. Why wouldn't guns be cheaper for law enforcement? Why do they need cheaper guns? They have a budget. They need to spend within their fucking budget. The military spends $10,000 for $4,000 items. Why can't police spend full fucking price? And that's not what I said. I said Glock needs to sell to civilians for the same price as they sell to law enforcement. I absolutely 100% stand behind giving a cop a discount or a law enforcement or a military guy. They deserve it for taking the chance to serve me, but it's the fact that the companies do shit like that. I don't have a high power on a wall, but John Moses Browning created the 1911. He did all the design work for Colt. He then went on to design a gun that he considered his basic, like 1911 improved. So a Browning high power is a double stack 9 from 1934 or 33 when he started designing it, but a 1930s double stack 9 with a no grip safety, only a manual safety. It did not have a bushing in the front. It was like a lot of current stuff. Even a CZ75 takes a lot of cues from the Browning high power. But it's basically what Browning thought the 1911 should have been. Back from meeting, did I miss anything significant? Yes. We answered a quantum mechanics question about if I was drifting through a black hole. I don't have an answer to that, Mark. I'm allergic to perfumes. Who the hell are your ops? What do you mean, who's my ops? Crazy question. What's the biggest amount of money cash you've ever held in your hand? I worked for a car dealership, and if you're talking about cash money, a dude brought us $45,000 in like 10s and 5s and shit to buy a Lincoln Navigator. The biggest check for a car I've ever held in my hand was $500,000 for a Lamborghini Aventador. In terms of money for myself, I've held probably 50 or 60K at the casino. Do you think Glock will sell a lot later on now that they're discontinued? No, dude, there's 25 million Glocks in the country. They're not going to get expensive. They're going to get expensive for a while, and then everybody's going to be really fucking sit down and remember, oh yeah, they weren't actually that good, and the price will drop. If people had any idea how much police and local government makes off of arrests and jails. Ah! Yes, I like German-made pistols, Sammy. What does double stack 9 mean? I'm German. We are disarmed. So this is a single stack magazine. As you can see, the ammunition in it is in a single stack. A double stack magazine is this one. You can see that the ammunition is stacked in a staggered format. So this magazine can hold 18 rounds, where this magazine can only hold 8. However, if you go double stacked, you can hold 19 in a 1911. Granted, you got to go 9mm, not 45. How many guns do you have? At least 3. I don't know the exact number. Sorry, Taylor. Staccatos are great, just pricey. If they're smart, they lower it more. Would buy, but again, I'm dumb. They'll never lower their price, man. They're using their name. They fucking joined the Terran Tactical fucking Glock conglomerate. They think they're fucking Apple. They think their guns are the shit. That's why they trademarked 2011. Colt never trademarked the 1911 name. Well, they may have, but trademarks and patents and shit wear out. What is your budget pistol go-to? One that is a runner. Daria DY9. I've had 0 failures and 1,000 rounds in that one. That's a $300 gun. The TSOS PX9. You don't have to get the comped version. That's a $530 gun. But the standard PX9 duty is like $330. That's a runner. The Springfield SD9, or excuse me, Smith & Wesson SD9 V2s. They're $300 guns and they're runners. And they take Gen 1 mags. Staccato has a bit of a grip on the compact market. That's their big thing. CS, CS2, shame they are pricey. Not many alternatives. Look at Rock Island, man. They make all the same guns, but they're steel frame, so they don't get as much love. You got a 9mm that fits nicely in your hand. Cool. Hayward Streams, Hollywood, Florida. It's a custom shop for guns that makes exact copies of Terran Glocks. No thanks, I don't like Glocks, man. Favorite do-it-all pistol, my 1911s. That's why I have so many of them. Yes, I've got the PX9 carried. PX9 is a solid gun, dude. For the money, Canic would be, so I'd go like, for terms of budget, right? In that $300 sweet spot, go with the fucking, the TSOS guns. Step up to like the 4s, go to Canic. And then when you get into the 5s, go Smith & Wesson and FN and Walther. What's your favorite belt gun and how come you don't have one if you're American? Because a lot of places actually consider it concealed carry, and North American arms guns are kind of hard because they don't have trigger guards. Beretta PX4, yeah, they're good. Yeah, it's interesting if you can find them that cheap because new cost, if I go as a dealer go to buy one from a distributor, I have to spend like $650. It's ridiculous how expensive they are. We have gun shops in Wisconsin. Most places have gun shops, brother. Do you think it's possible to get a PX4 trigger under 3 pounds? I'd buy that fucker ASAP. Talk to Landon Tactical, man. I believe their triggers can get down that low and they'll do the work for you. I've tried the Walther PDP, Echelon, Beretta, APX, still prefer Glock. To each their own, NC. I guess, like I said, man, you like your gun. You're not going to convince me to like your gun, but you like your gun. Go for it. Got a 44-2 to get off my lawn kind of gun. There you go, Sandra. PX4 with the comp. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Oh. I would never recommend carrying a 40 caliber. Most manufacturers are killing off their 40 caliber guns. I would not recommend a dying caliber to anybody. What's your opinion on burnouts? They're fun when your tires need to be replaced. They're stupid when the tires are brand new. What's the most you won and lost in the casinos? So back in Minnesota, I won a 3-card poker tournament, and I think that was my biggest win. It was like 65 grand, but I was addicted to blackjack at the time, so I think I lost it all back within like 2 weeks. Langdons are weird. I talked to them. They said they can't go low 3.5 to 4. Kind of lame. I wish I didn't have tons of hand surgeries. Oh, really? I'm surprised they won't go down that low. $50 Smith and week. It's actually $40 short and week. Barnett crossbow, nice. What revolvers do you have? I have a Ruger GP100 and a Ruger SP101, and I have that Heritage Barkeep. I'm not a big revolver guy. I like my 357s, and I think the Ruger triggers are the best. Keep it in your drawer kind of gun. I get you. SIG is now selling the Freedom Series handguns in tribute of Turning Point USA in conjunction with Grab a Gun with a combined donation of $100 per gun sold. Is SIG hitting a new low? No. They are trying to, I mean, they're doing, it's hard to say. Because, I mean, what are they really getting out of it? You know? Favorite handgun, 1911s. What's the oldest gun you own? I own a 1903 pocket hammerless that was manufactured in 1907. What do you think about Desert Eagle for best defense? They're fun, but they're not best defense. Those gas-operated systems, unless you keep them really clean and lubed up really well, they're not reliable. If you're advising Pete Hedgeth to equip the U.S. Marines, which general improvements would you suggest? Go back to the 1911. Just get them all 2011s, man. Going little, come out big. Talking about the bullet hole or what I do to cakes. Smith & Wesson are my favorite revolvers, but Ruger offers some great value and excellent quality. Yeah, so you can usually find a used GP100 for under $600 here in Virginia, and dude, it outshoots a Colt Python for 100%. Do you like kielbasa in the can? I've never had kielbasa in the can. If you're talking about a dick in my butt, no. People had a TPU SA SIGs. Apparently haven't seen the million Trump guns. Is Taurus junk? No. You can get a bad one, but no, they're not junk.
Cute collection. You got some cute guns up there, bud.
What's your opinion on crossbows? I don't crossbow hunt. I am a very late adopter to the firearm world, despite what my background looks like. I didn't start messing with firearms until I was 38 years old. So, do I like the tortas? I don't know. If you had to shoot Bigfoot and you had to balance the success of the kill with the honoring Bigfoot, which one would you use and why? I would use a 45-70 and I would go for a heart shot. That way it would kill him quickly while still keeping the rest of him intact so I could collect the whatever bounties are currently out for him. But also, I don't know if I would really want to kill Bigfoot. I would try to converse with him first because he might be intelligent. What do you think about Smith & Wesson J-Frame Chief Special, 38 Special, showroom gun, or would you carry? I never buy any gun that I wouldn't carry or throw down range, so I'm always a yes, use it. 38 works fine, man. Why wouldn't you carry it? Run some 38 plus Ps. 38 plus Ps are equal to a 9 all day long. Dang, the gun's in the PC. Yep. Hey, man, you have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, Sam, you have a good one. What do you think about GeForce products? Very cheaply built Turkish stuff. I have the GeForce Chronicle, the 1911. It's really fucking rough. Needs a lot of work. Are you a believer in our Lord and Savior, Trump? I don't believe in any politicians. All politicians should go to jail for treason. Favorite Glock? No such thing. Glock sucks. I agree. Bigfoot would absolutely have a good chance of being a homie. You gotta at least try and communicate. Plus, dude, Bigfoot has been living in the woods for hundreds of years. That motherfucker knows where all the best fishing spots are. Don't fucking tell me he doesn't. Low round count? Fucking get accurate, dude. You can get 8 round fucking 357s and load them with 38, dude. This is 8 rounds of 45. If I put 6 rounds into your face out of a 38 special revolver, it's going to do the job. The thing is, if you know you're going to be carrying something with a limited capacity, learn to shoot the fucking thing. That's the way I look at it. If I only get one 1911 and not spend over 1K, what should I get? Fusion Firearms. They make probably a really solid 1911 under $1,000. TSOS, Gerson, and Rock Island all make Turkish built ones that are really solid. The Fusion are US built. If you want to get, well, Rock Island is Philippines. But otherwise, you can usually find like a Springfield Garrison for about $800. Also, you can get Kimbers for under $1,000 too. No police guns. There's nothing wrong with those old Smith & Wesson Chiefs. They were used for a very long time, a variant used by the military. Yeah, everybody nowadays watches the internet with all these dudes that will mag dump. You know, Jerry Michalik can mag dump and reload and mag dump in like a second and a half, breaking the light speed barrier. And everybody thinks that you need an intense number of rounds. The average self-defense shooting in North America, according to the FBI and police reports that have been monitored and analyzed for whatever amount of time, is 3 to 5 shots. If you are in a firefight that requires more than 3 to 5 shots, you are in a firefight. And it doesn't matter that you're carrying a concealed carry gun, because you should not be in a firefight, period. I mean, 38 Special has been putting folks down for 70 years since it was invented until it was at the end of carry by LEOs. Yeah. What are your other hobbies from guns? Computers, cars, comic books, reading, taking care of my service animal and teaching him all the good things to do. Mark, for honoring Bigfoot the right way, comes in with €5. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. What pistol would you recommend for a female to daily carry? Depends. Are you a big old girl, or are you just a small itty bitty thing? What you need to do is you need to go and pick up a lot of different guns, because weight could be an issue, size can be an issue. Some people just don't care. I don't care. I carry a full steel 1911, and I'm small. I'm barely over 5 feet tall. I'd just rather have max practical capacity. That's fine. And it's totally within your own personal purview to carry based on round count or etc., whatever you want to have. But what I don't like is when people tell others no because of their personal bias. That's where I kind of get a little frustrated. Like, I've worked in gun stores for 6 years, and the thing I hated the most is when some old FUD fucker would come in there and tell you, you don't need this gun because of this. You don't want that gun because of that. It's not your fucking job to be selling somebody a gun. It's not my job to... It's my job to help them find a gun that they like and that they're going to shoot competently. So if somebody can better use a 38 Special LCR-X with 6 rounds in the cylinder versus forcing them to carry a 19X with 17 rounds because they don't like shooting the gun, fuck it. Let them have the revolver. Don't tell somebody not to get something because you don't like it. That's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. I sold cars for 20 years. I never told my buddies what cars they should buy. I just helped them know what cars had what problems. And yet I still buy Hemis. I only carry based on one-shot knockdown power. I do have a gun that I keep over 100 rounds was loaded up in magazines for, but I keep my work gun. There's a chance if I'm shooting, it's probably a shootout. To each their own, man. Like I said, I carry two mags, one in the gun and one in my pocket. And my 1911s, I use Wilson Combats, which are 8-round mags. So I always rack one in, top off the mag. So I'm carrying 17 rounds. If I can't get out of a situation in 17 rounds, I made some kind of really bad fucking mistake. Jimmini's cool. An oath keeper. I always consider my concealed carry as a get me out of here gun, not a combat defense weapon. My combat weapon is what I wear on duty, and I have a lot of ammo. Exactly. Police officers, a lot of them switch to 9 for capacity from the revolvers. Great, that makes sense. But you and I as individuals, no, dude. I will carry 150 BMG in a fucking Caltech 50 BMG pistol and be accurate with it rather than carrying 30 rounds. Mustang 50 Coyote versus LS versus Hemi. So I would take the Coyote over the LS every day of the week. It makes more power for less money. Just kidding, it doesn't. But no, it's a better engine. The 4 valve with the variable intake on the Coyote. I used to have a 14 track pack. It's an underrated motor. Number one, mine dynoed at 395 at the wheels, and that was before I put exhaust and tuned it. Um, I move on to the Hemis from there. If you go with the Scat Pack, the 392, they make 500 horsepower with a pushrod engine. Does have variable valve timing on the intake side. LS is a good engine. It's just really fucking outdated. Nothing revs like a Coyote outside of a fucking Aston Martin engine. So I had the Roush exhaust axle backs on my 14 GT track pack. That thing sounded like an Aston Martin V8. What are the most reliable cars out there, old and new, that can last beyond 200K? Almost everything can last 200K nowadays. What fits nice in your hand? King, what's up? What's your go-to gun? All of them, but mostly that Para Ordnance 1911. 302 is great also. How much do you think you spend on guns a month? I don't spend anything on guns, Mr. Taxman. I don't know. I don't count, dude. I've only bought 2 guns last month. Have you read the TWD comics? Super different from the show. Walking Dead, yeah. Dude, spoiler alert. Rick loses his hand way earlier in the comic books. Yeah, the way everybody dies. Glenn is like the super accurate one. Carl lives to the end, so yeah. Dude, are all of them yours? Yes. Bronco with the 302 was the best ride ever. The old 5.0s were excellent engines. They were not very good power plants, though. When you're talking about the old 350, like the tune ports versus the 5.0 HOs, the tune port engines and then the later on TBIs, although I don't recommend the throttle body injected ones, I would recommend either a tune port injection, TPI, or an LT, or like the Vortec engines. Although technically they weren't true Vortex, but they were Vortex, but they weren't Vortex. But anyways, yeah, the 302s just didn't rev. Yeah, 96s were awesome. Although they did put the 5.0 in the Explorers until 2001. Wow, that's my dream. Congratulations to you. Thank you, sir. I'm not racing her. Lol. Have I read Dune? It's basically how the occult run things. No, I've never actually read Dune. Yeah, I just go to the prison arc. Michonne and Rick and Glenn escaped Woodbury, and they're going to look for the NG station now. I think Lori just gave birth to. Great story compared to the TV. Yeah. Although, if you want to see something that totally swayed from the fucking comic books, watch Red with Bruce Willis. Totally different from the comics. I need to get my projected car in the garage. Had it for a few years. Haven't really done anything to it. What is your project car? Just riding her nicely, never left me stranded. You treat a 302 nicely, that thing will run 400,000 miles without even burping. You treat it like shit, it'll go 300, but it'll smoke. 83 Cutlass Supreme. Interesting choice, man. The Dune audiobook is great. You got different readers for each character, music, background. Jesus, so it was more like the old radio plays. Good night, brothers. All Second Amendment protectors. After Jimmini Show, best radio to listen coast to coast with George Newry. Same thing with the boys. They took the comic books and completely flipped it to the Amazon series. Very much so. Yeah. So, should I do more spoilers? In the comic book, Homelander always knew that the boys were doing what they were doing. Recently sold my Mini Cooper with 210 and modded. Any cars are reliable if you treat it well. Pretty much, dude. Fucking mint. I had a I don't know where I was going with that. Uh, 96 with 130,000. That's nothing. That is nothing, Sandra. That's good. Which game do you suggest for learning gun names? None, man. Just do Google. Dude, the Walking Dead comics governor makes the TV show one look like a sane person. Dude was brutal and was not expecting that. Yeah. You ever read fucking Stephen King novels versus his movies? Oh, mine still smells new. I miss Pontiac. Just get a Chevy. They're all the same. You seem like you are supporting Coop. Who's Coop? The last GTO we got was such a sleeper look. Yeah, it failed because it looked like a fucking Cavalier, though. But I agree. Any Milsurp? Not really. I've got a couple of, like, wartime Mosins. What are those 1911s up top of the PC? Are those your favorite? They're not just my favorite, but they are my favorite. But they're guns that I've worked on a lot. So those two are Gersons. They don't look like Gersons because they've been completely rebuilt by me. Gerson sent me those. I reviewed them in their stock form and then I modified them. That's the Influencer X and that's the Match X with the comped barrel. I completely disassembled them, sent the slide of that one, the slide and the frame on that one to Taylor's and Company, had them re-blued. It's kind of a polished slide with a dull finish on the top and the sides of the frame, kind of like Colt used to do. That's got a 1.9 pound trigger and custom stippling. That's got a 3 pound trigger and custom grips and stuff. That is a Para Ordnance Black Ops 1911. It's just a super solid 1911 that I carry. I miss the old Walking Dead when they killed Glenn and Abe. I just lost it. Love the Daryl Dixon. They should have kept Glenn alive just for the simple fact that they deviated so far on everything else. I'll put you back in your seat every time. Ha! Do you have an AK-47? No, I have 3. Why High Point so cheap? Because they're made very cheap from very cheap materials. Do you like the Strike Eagle, 2nd gen LPVO at all? Never messed with one, DMR. I am not a long gun guy. What's the tats on your armor about? So the tats on my arms are just to cover scars. I'm working on this arm still. I have a lot of scars. I suffer skin damage very easily, so I got the tattoos. And the only ones that matter are that one, 4/17/17. That was the day I killed myself. And then this arm, it's upside down, but it says nothing gory means no story, and magnifying glass around where I slit my wrist. No, the wartime Mosins are not for sale. I have 6 Strike Eagles. They're awesome. They're on sale right now for about $250. Nice. The TV show really pissed me off when they killed Carl. Sophia was... Well, that was because he wanted to leave. He refused to do the character anymore, so they killed him. Matt, I don't think anybody's going to really side with you on that one. So letting California dictate modern firearms trends is not a good look. Nice, thanks. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you, Bruce. Well, one of my daughter, Jessica, she passed over too early. Oh, man, I'm sorry about that, Sandra. Yeah, do it. Thank you. Also, 45 or 10 for 1911, assuming same price, ammo and gun. That is a very personal choice. I'm not a caliber guy. I'm a gun guy. So I have 9mm, 10mm, and 45 1911s. I like them all equally. In my country, AK-47 is the most popular gun. The army of my country uses this gun. Can you say my country's name? I'm thinking that you are probably the country of California. I need to get my tattoo for my grandma soon. Everybody get your tattoos. I haven't been able to afford to get more work done. I know it's stupid when you look at the background to say that shit, but I'm not selling or pawning any of my guns ever again, okay? My personal guns are not for sale. I have 11 in the store right now. If they sell, I'll wind up with like 12, 13 grand. I can start on my tattoos again. Yeah. Sandra, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Our condolences. Glenn used the 1911 in the series. That's why he became my favorite TWB character. Also, you know, his actor was really good. I'm Armo, too hairy to get a tattoo. Want to, but I'm not shaving my arms every 3 days. Yeah, I have light hair, so it doesn't really affect me. She's still around me. Oh, yeah. I believe that. Have not messed with the RPX-9 Exodus. You need mange disease to get a tat. You can get laser hair removal, which will remove the hair as permanently as possible. It'll still probably grow back, but it'll be much less defined. Although that's a weird thing to do. No, he just shaves my shit, but luckily I don't have very thick hair for my arms. First time I saw Steven Yeun was in Big Bang Theory, so I'm trying to remember the first time I saw Steven Yeun, but yeah, I like him as an actor. Thoughts on the CMMG Banshee? Highly recommended. It's a little expensive, but definitely a good PDW. It's a private message. No panic. Bring a bag. Come in. I know where the dude at. Big hit this time. Okay, I'm on the way. Low PP. That's my stripper name. It's ironic. It's kind of like when they call the big guy tiny. If you ever saw me in a G-string, number one, you'd be like, why is that fucker wearing a G-string? But then you'd be like, dude, that's a big dick. Also, his penis is average. I hate shaving my legs. Just kidding. I'm laughing right now. Lol. I go to a gun safety school. Okay? What does that mean? Glocks are discontinued. Don't buy a Glock. Glock is stupid. Glock the company is stupid. Glock's policies are stupid. The way they sell guns to people is stupid. The fact that people still think Glocks are good guns is stupid. You ever name your guns? No, I name my cars. I don't name my guns. The only guns I named were Big Dick McDick Dick, which was that small JA-22, and I don't think any of those guns have names. Yes, I ordered an FK Burno for a friend of mine. In fact, I took his Remington 870 and that AREX Alpha in trade on one. It means they teach kids how to use guns the right way. Oh, well then I approve. We got a Glock hater. I'm not a Glock hater, I'm just a fucking realist. Name another major gun manufacturer that got 85% of their lineup discontinued because they got banned. What? You can't? Glock things. Any opinion on the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus? I want one. That's what I can say. I just can't afford it right now. Did you get rid of the Dogi? Yes, I got rid of Dottie. So my 2-car payments were exceedingly high for my income level right now. So I traded off, so I sold my 15 Ram and my 15 Charger RT, and I got a 2019 Jeep Cherokee Summit. And my payments went from $1,000 a month to $350. So the PC holds a firearm. Yes, it does. Which one is more important, helmet or vest? Is it depending on the situation? For example, between wars. So no, mine's a 2019. They topped out at about 63, and it doesn't have massage sheets. You're thinking of the 21 design. The 19 and 20 were the last year of the old design. They didn't have that many. It's got everything. It's got the panoramic roof, parallel parking, perpendicular parking, Apple CarPlay, all that shit. Lane departure, lane keep, adaptive cruise, fucking everything on it, but it's not quite the super high-end one. It's the highest trim you could get before going to the SRT in 2019, though. Glock is aight. If you build a clone, that's what I did for my first gun. Just isn't noob friendly to build and very good trigger options compared to what I could find. Yeah. Mine are all paid for, but I'm retired too. That makes sense. In fairness, Glock was not banned because it was a bad. Glock was banned because criminals in Colorado, any firearms with a detachable magazine is banned, so that goes for SIG, 1911, etc. So, here's the thing. I'm not really referencing the fact that it got banned. I'm referencing the fact that their entire lineup outside of the slimline is susceptible to easy modifications into full machine guns because of how shitty their tolerances are. So they literally killed 85% of their lineup. Were they banned due to some fault or action of their own? Well, technically it was their own fucking fault. Glock created the Glock switch. The 18C or the 18 has the side-mounted switch for burst fire and full auto, but a designer for Glock created the backplate-mounted Glock switch, and then it got released to the world. Glock created a problem that led to their own fucking downfall. So their hubris became their fucking downfall. What do they say? Pride goeth before the fall? Well, Glock goeth down the fucking toilet since Gaston died. Do you think anybody would have banned the gun if Gaston was still alive? No, because he had fucking politicians in his pocket, probably. Probably? It's after 10. I'm getting tired. Problem is that Glock is self-made and manufactured. A Glock switch is like not some aftermarket part. Thank you, Redneck. Dude, you tend to type exactly what I'm saying when I say it. Gaston died last year. It doesn't seem like it because they put him in Tupperware when they buried him. I don't know if it's real or not, but I did see a very early today. Somebody got a sample of the mock. It's not official, so I don't trust it. All right, guys, it is way after 10 o'clock, and I need to go to bed. You guys were amazing. Please make sure to like and subscribe. My dog knows when I'm getting done doing stuff because he just popped up and woke up, so I need to take him out. I need to take my dog out. No, I need to take him out for his evening constitutional, and then I got to go to bed. Dude, when you play with a 45 ACP and then you play with a 9mm, dude, you versus me. All right. Anyways, we'll pick you up, show you the thing. Peace, Joe. See you, Rocky. Don't be a jackass. Are you telling Rocky not to be a jackass? That's a good point, but if they have a pattern on the fixes, it's a great win for them because it's going to fuck everybody else who makes Gen 3 products because not. Now there will be a new patent. Oh, yeah, no. The V is going to make Glock so much money because they're going to somehow point out that they willingly canceled the lineup and in self-defense or in their own way, they are helping gun owners by creating a new design that is still the same price. And the first year that they build the guns, the first versions of them are not even optics cut. So, dogs are silly. Mine's always jackasses. SIG 229 or Beretta FS 92. I will take the SIG, honestly. I'll take a 229 Legion single action only, thank you. All firearms are relatively easy to modify to go burr. YouTube used to be the place to learn how to commit felonies. Oh yeah, dude. There was a guy who once read the entire what was that? The one where it teaches you to make bombs. Aw, look at my boy. He's so tired. Hey Rocky, you want to go to bed? You want to go get in the bed? You want to go to bed? You want to go get in the bed? You gonna go in and get in the bed? All right, guys, I'm going to let him go to sleep. So come back for tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, become a member. You'll get early access to videos when I remember to film them and upload them. There will be 2 new videos going up tomorrow, so keep that in mind. Love you guys.